Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today on the bench we have a Dahlquist, I don't know how to pronounce that, Dahlquist QX125S. It's a powered subwoofer, made in Canada. I think this one dates from 2002-ish or something like that. Supposedly they were pretty good subwoofers. This one says it's rated at 180 watts. Not sure about that. Basically what happens with this one, when you turn it on, there's a very nasty sound. So something on the board is dodgy. I'll turn it on quickly and then off again, just so that you can hear the sound. Pretty nasty. So we'll get the back board out and see if we can see any damage on there. Should be an interesting one. Okay, so I have the board out. This is the preamp, and this is the main board power section, and it has the S53 AMI power amp module. I did a little bit of googling. This circuit seems to be used in quite a few different versions of these powered amps. Unfortunately, if the issue is with the actual power module itself, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this. It's a discontinued part. But on some of the forums I came across, there is talk about these main filter caps going open. I did do a test and power it on with as it is now, and there is a distinctive buzzing sound. It sounds like it's coming from one of these capacitors, but it's hard to pinpoint. So I'm going to take the caps out, try and measure them, see what they're measuring out of circuit. And if it is that, then that should be an easier fix than trying to get a replacement for the power module itself. So let's get the caps out and we'll give it a test. Well, I think that is our problem. One of the legs is broken off completely. That was probably what was making the buzzing sound. Interesting. So here's a bit of a close-up of the other side of the board. You can see there is the leg from the capacitor that's broken off. This is the glue that they like to put on. It's all crusty. Sometimes when this glue gets old, it actually becomes conductive, so it turns into more of an issue. So we'll clean all of this stuff up. I'm just going to test to see, just to confirm this is ground. There's no short to the positive side of the caps. No short, that's ground. Ground. This area here is a bit of a concern because that's very close. I'm going to have to get some solder mask and just mask off that section. The lead for the capacitor was coming through the center hole, which should be out of the way. Okay, so let's try and find replacement caps and we'll put them in. Hopefully that's the only issue. Okay, so I've been searching around and I do not have any of these replacement capacitors. What I did find is some very old 2500 microfarad 50 volt caps. So I've put them in this is just for testing purposes. I want to switch it on and see if the buzzing sound has disappeared. Again, I reiterate, this is just for testing. Obviously, I'm going to order new caps and put them in and do the masking of the board. I've checked, made sure that there's no shorts with these caps. You can see it's a really dodgy botch job inside there, but again, just for testing, I want to see if the unit switches on. I was getting voltage variations with the old caps. I want to see if that has disappeared. So I'm going to turn on and you can witness if it explodes or not. In 3, 2, 1. No bang. And I see the little red light on the front, the indicator light is on. So I think that means that the unit is working, which is great. I'm going to try and get in here and just check the speaker. I have the negative connected to the speaker terminal, the speaker output. The positive is quite close to the cap, so I'm going to go in slowly and just check. Oh, wow, we have 41 volts DC on the speaker out. So that is not good. So when I'm measuring with a different ground directly on the output terminals, it's fine. I think what I might do is, how would I test that without popping something? Okay, let's switch it off. Okay, so I did a little bit more testing with the directly connected to the speaker outputs here. Although it measures on the meter 40 volts. As soon as you have a load attached, which would be the actual speaker itself, that DC voltage is not present anymore. So I think the module itself needs to see a load on there. I don't know exactly why it was measuring at 41 volts. But what I did to test is I have an old throwaway speaker here, and I connected it on there, and the speaker didn't blow up, which was good. And then once I'd done that, the measuring voltage had disappeared from there. So like I say, I think the S53 module needs a load attached to it. While this little speaker was connected, I touched the inputs on the back here, and there was a humming on the speaker, which shows that the preamp is working and sending that noise from my fingers through. So I'm pretty confident with just replacing these capacitors that the unit will be operational again. So I'm going to order the caps, order some solder mask, fix up this issue here, and once the caps are in place, we'll come back and do some testing. Okay, so our new capacitors arrived, and I also masked the area where the masking had come off with some UV mask. Just waiting for that to dry, and then we'll pop the capacitors back in and give it a full test. stick it back together and give it a test. Okay, so I came across a secondary issue. This the ribbon cable that connects the main amp board to the input board. There was 3 of these cables that were broken off. There's not much length to play with here, so what I'm actually going to do is replace the whole cable with a slightly longer one and give us more flexibility here. This one's also physically a little more flexible. And then I will hot glue it. Once it's soldered in, I'll hot glue it so that it doesn't move. I'm probably going to speed that part of the thing up. I have to try and get in under here. I don't want to have to take this whole thing out because of all this glue here. So I'm going to try and do it with the board in place. This board I can take out to get to the bottom to do the soldering. But this one I don't want to mess up this glue here. So let's get that done. Okay, so I got the cable soldered on the one side. I was busy doing the other side. Everything was going well, and then my OCD kicked in. This one wire was a little bit too short, so I tried to extend it and it ended up snapping. So I'm going to have to cut them and redo them to get them to connect onto this other board. Pretty annoying. Okay, so I got the cables trimmed and put through. I don't know how I'm going to be able to record this and solder at the same time without getting my head in the way of the camera. Let me solder it up and then we'll come back. Okay, so I have everything put back together and everything seems to be working great. I made a mistake when I first plugged it in. I assumed that these line inputs here would be fine to feed directly from the CD player, but the signal was too strong for that. So what I have it hooked up now is single input coming from the subwoofer out connection of the amp, and with a CD player going through the amp itself, and it's sounding pretty good. The customer should be happy with that. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.